Good evening. Today I'm going to make a video eating sea grapes. I just got these in the mail today. My grandson had a lot of fun watching them hydrate and tasting them. It was very interesting. I didn't think that they would expand as much as they did, even after watching videos myself. I don't know why I didn't expect it to be different for some reason. I'm not sure. I made some soy sauce and vinegar. With my favorite soy sauce is the Silver Swan, and the Filipino vinegar as well, just because I figure if I'm going to use it as a dipping sauce, I'm going to want to like what it's dipped in, because it pretty much just tastes like whatever you dip it in. The flavor reminds me of asparagus or artichoke, maybe. I probably won't eat all of them because I did already have dinner. Keeping them in the bowl of water just because I'm not sure if they immediately start to dehydrate again. But this is like my cereal bowl, so it's kind of like maybe 6 inches wide, and the package it came in was probably only in 2x2 size square package, dehydrated. But pretty much almost immediately they started puffing up and hydrating. And it was such an interesting process. My grandson thought it was something alive, so he was kind of apprehensive at first to eat them. But then he got too curious and he had to see what it was about. He liked them by themselves, but not with the soy sauce. It was too salty for him. I hope the sound is coming out. In my head, of course, it sounds very crunchy, but I'm not sure if it's really like how Pop Rocks are, where you can hear them in your inside while you're eating them, but not on the outside really much. kind of made it my mission this year to make more of an effort to make YouTube videos. I really want to. I just have such a hard time overcoming my shyness or nervousness at making them, just because I feel worried that I'm not maybe doing a good job, or that I sound silly maybe. So I'm trying. Just because I have so much time by myself when my family is asleep or at work, because they work opposite hours that I do. So I figure I might as well do something with my time and have something to hopefully show for it later. Sorry, I'm not great with chopsticks and small things, but I figure this is a good time to practice. I do enjoy eating with chopsticks whenever I can. It's usually when I have time to not be in a hurry. Just because I'm not, an expert with them. I don't know why this one is like intertwined. Oh no, maybe it's like a branch. I thought they were all like single pieces, but evidently they can branch off just like any other grass, I guess. I wonder what kind of sea life lives in these little grasses. And I wonder why, if they're from the sea, why as soon as you put them in the soy sauce do they start almost dehydrating right away? I wonder if there's any nutritional content to these as well. Wouldn't seem to be really more than water. So really have almost no flavor. It is very slight, very much like the faintest flavor of, I would say artichoke would be the closest, because it's really not a seaweed type flavor for sure. It's very watery and green tasting. Alright, I'm back. Sorry, I had to pause the video for a moment. My son came out and we were just talking. And if you hear my fire alarm chirp, it's a current point of contention in my house because nobody wants to change it because everybody hates getting on ladders and I have a 10-foot ceiling. Eventually, I will probably just have my son-in-law come over and do it. Can't wait to play back the video and hear if these are really as crunchy as they seem. Try to make this video as long as I can, but man, this is a lot of saltiness. I imagine most people eat it with a little rice or something to kind of cut the saltiness, or maybe a beer or something. Strikes me as a good drinking snack. And the crackling you hear in the background, if you can hear it, is just my fireplace. I started a fire. It's a little cold tonight. We are expecting some late spring snow on Friday, but the weatherman keeps changing his mind, so it may just be cold and rainy in the end. We'll see. I would appreciate not having the snow. I do like the beauty of it, but I drive an hour towards it every day for work. So, not putting on chains or just having a stressful drive is greatly appreciated, especially with the time change. Instead of me having daylight when I leave now, it's dark. So I leave my house about 6 o'clock in the morning when the weather's bad, to give myself extra time to drive. Because my pet peeve in life is being late. I hate being late. I feel like it sets a bad example and makes you look irresponsible. Of course, there are always circumstantial reasons you would be late. Traffic accidents and weather. But that's why I always try to be early enough so that if I am delayed, I still get to work on time. I find it strange now in this day and age that so many people find it acceptable to get to their appointment or go to work at exactly the time they're supposed to clock in. Because when you clock in, you're expected to begin working, not arriving, but begin working. And I want to be able to put my lunch away and maybe finish my cup of coffee and settle my desk and get everything ready for my workday, so that when my actual start of my shift comes about, I'm ready to actually work. Because people are waiting for us to open at the time that my shift begins. So I should be ready to assist them. So maybe that's old-fashioned of me, but I try very hard to be good at my job. So, sorry, I had to pause again, so I'm not really sure where I left off, because I was just rambling. So, I think I'm done with these sea grapes for now. It's just too much for me to eat at the moment, salty wise. And I was planning on eating some dried fruit for you as well. So I will probably do that now and kind of move my things aside here. So excuse me, excuse my table. I need to refinish it. My kids have been pretty hard on it. My son likes to bring tools inside and set them on the table, and my grandson regularly plays on my table, and yeah, it's a little worse for the wear, but my husband made this table many years ago, and so it'll be just, a weekend of work when we have time to sand it and restain it again. So this is what I was going to snack on. I just got these yesterday in the mail. They're by Sensible Foods. Really can't unfold that without making a whole lot of noise, I think, so I'll just kind of tip it. This is the company. And I ordered it through Sam's Club and had no idea it was coming direct from the company itself. And it's Orchard Blend, 100% fruit, crunch dried snacks, dried apple, peach, and apricot. Now, I am not really a fan of apricots. I can say I really strongly dislike them. So I will try my best not to eat any of those. I don't know why. I think it's the texture, maybe. Just not a fan. And there's peaches, which I do like, and apples. I had the company sent me a bonus sample, and I got one that was berries, which was fantastic. And I didn't know that I really liked crunchy dried blueberries and cherries. The texture was fantastic. And so I definitely will be on the lookout for those. But unfortunately, Sam's Club didn't offer that variety, or I definitely would have ordered that as well. And there are no additives, it's just apple, peach, and apricot. And they're 100% fruit, vegan, gluten-free, non-GMO, 100% fat-free, no added sugar, no additives, and no preservatives. Satisfy your cravings with 100% real fruit and nothing else. Only the highest quality fresh apples, peaches, and apricots are handpicked at the peak of ripeness, then crunch dried to ensure a delightful snacking experience. Our unique drying process retains the nutritional value while locking in the full flavor and natural sweetness. Light and crunchy bites of delicious fruits are packed in this bag for a perfectly amazing on-the-go snack anytime. Snack sensibly. So I'm just going to move this off camera to open it. It is surprisingly difficult package to open. I think the toughness of opening the package is just part of the, part of ensuring that the fruit stays fresh. So, oh no, they're very small pieces. Oh, there's no way I'm going to be able to discern what fruit is what. I thought they'd be like discs, like the apples were, but I was wrong. I think these are probably apricot, just by the yellowness, and these may be the peach because of the, I don't know, I don't really have a solid theory, I'm just guessing. So I guess it's just you get what you get, you don't throw a fit situation. Alright, so I think the title crunch dried is probably just meaning freeze dried. Or something maybe in between a traditional drying process and dehydration and freeze drying, because freeze drying is really the only process I know that would create something with this kind of texture that keeps its thickness. But really, as soon as it goes into your mouth, it just wants to soften right away and melt. I have to really not let them touch my tongue at all in order to make a crunch. Well, I guess if I did eat an apricot, it really didn't taste like anything. I'm trying to find a piece of apple. There we go. So, at least we know what apple pieces look like. easier. So I think I'm done for today. I'm just gonna drink some of my ice and water. So I'll just do some hand movements just to try to get my video to 30 minutes. My rings always turn around and it just kind of drives me crazy. Can't wait to have my original ring repaired. I had to cut it off my finger about probably 8 years ago now, and I just haven't been able to afford to have it repaired. I was at work and I don't know what I did while I was at work that my ring was, soldered together into one piece, and at some point I hit something, although I don't recall hitting anything, but I must have, and it smashed one half of my ring onto my finger, and by the time I got home, my finger was turning purple, and my husband had to cut it off with a pair of pliers. And it was rather devastating after 20 years of marriage to have to cut that off, because I never ever removed it. So someday I'll get it fixed. I do pan for gold and have a little jar of it. And the town where I live has little festivals, and goldsmiths occasionally come. So eventually, I'm sure when we are allowed to have things like that, I'll have enough gold to exchange it for repairs done to my ring. And that's the plan anyways. I feel like my hands are way too close to the camera for what I'm doing. I apologize if it is not a pleasing thing to look at. I'm getting older, and that's one of the things I'm kind of complex about, because I always liked my hands, because my mother is deaf, so signing is something that draws attention to your hands, so I always tried to take care of them. But, of course, eventually our hands change with work and life changes, and My hands aren't as smooth as they used to be. They're scarred and worn now. But I try my best, and I put lotion on and try to take care of my hands. My nails usually have polish, but I wore some artificial nails for a little while, and then when I took them off, I've been polishing my nails, and I just felt like my nails needed a break because they were just tearing off all the time, little pieces, while I was at work or at home. These little, damages to the surface of my nails. So I figured they could do some good with some just natural nail for a while. I just rub lotion into them and a little cuticle oil that has some almond and stuff like that in it. Give them a little break for all of their suffering that they've been through. But thank you to those of you that have watched my video. I hope you had a good evening. It's 8:30 in the evening here, and I have to be up at 5, so good night. I hope you can sleep well. I'm going to try, and I'll just be watching other people's videos to go to sleep tonight, as I also listen to ASMR to go to sleep. So good night, stay safe, and I bid everyone farewell.